guys and gals? Nary here from Drake Wing Gaming, and some of you know me on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of In Case of Emergency. So, I believe we have reached a critical point in the story where everything has just kind of been thrown at the player, and whew, I'm curious to see where things end up after this, because we had a very fateful showdown with King Remus in the last episode, and I wonder how this will affect the world of Peregrine. Well, I guess we'll see. Anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back in. Alarm Chan, you are up, and let's go. Alright. He slowly lets his sword clatter to the floor, and he raises his hands in surrender, dropping to his knees. His broad shoulders rise and fall with his labored breathing. When he speaks, his voice is soft. Kieran, you will regret this. You circle him to hold your sword to his throat. As he looks up at you through blood-matted fur, you realize that he's not threatening you. He's warning you. Even after everything, he still thinks he's looking out for you. Don't you see, Kieran? I'm not the villain here. There's nothing out there for us. This is all there is. This world. This Peregrine. This reality. This is your only chance to matter. For it all to mean something. This is what I was trying to give you. All of you. Remus sighs. Blood trickles from the corner of his mouth. If only you could have seen that. He hangs his head and turns away from you. With the toe of your boot, you kick away Remus's weapon, feeling him swallow under the point of your blade. When you slowly lower your sword, it's clear he's given up. There's nowhere left for him to run. You've beaten him. You hardly notice Cedric walking over, his right paw outstretched in front of him and his pads facing up like he's cupping a bowl of it in his hand. It's time to go! He clenches his fingers to make a fist, and you feel the thread in your navel pull tight. Cedric pulls, and the pressure snaps. The thread is snipped and carried away by the wind. The blade on your dildo winks out and scatters into stardust. Hey! The ground begins to shake. You watch loose pebbles dance up and down on the floor. There's a rumble from deep in the cavern. The shadows in the cavern seem to grow longer. The heart pulses with weak blue light, dimming as the world falls apart. Wordlessly, Cedric turns towards the pit in the center of the room and holds his palm out towards it. Like you'd felt before, you feel the familiar sensation of the world's planes rearranging. Just in front of you, a door appears. The hollow steel rectangle you've seen so many times before. On the other side of the emergency exit, your ticket back to the real world. Cedric, how are you doing this? When Cedric speaks, his tone is far away. It doesn't have to be Peregrine. There are 1,000 worlds waiting for you, 1,000,000 stars unexplored, 100 doors unopened. Cedric blinks. His eyes return to normal for a moment, and he clutches his head. I think it's the crown. I can control the world. No, well, I can destroy it, but I can make it, too. I could remake it into anything I wanted. His eyes start to glow again, and for a moment you think he's going to follow up on that revelation. Then Cedric shakes his head, and the light dissipates. Bless you. No, we have to leave. I just severed the last of your connections to the relics. We just need to get rid of the crown and... He nods towards the portal. And then this world will be destroyed. Gone for good. There won't be anything to take its place. What's gonna happen to Remus? If he's part of this world, then he'll be gone too. And if he's not? Cedric shakes his head. He doesn't know. Let's go. Then what are we waiting for? Let's get the hell out of here! This collects himself, and the last particles of his shield dissolving into sparkling dust. He exhales loudly and rolls his shoulders back in wide circles, like he's preparing himself mentally and physically for the next bout. See you on the other side. Wes steps to the door and disappears. Luke sighs and, with his hands on his hips, gives the cavern a final once-over. After a long look at the ground, he finally looks up and carouses over to the metal door, where he holds it open for you. Hey, I don't normally do stuff like this, but... Wrong voice. Hey, I don't normally do stuff like this, but thanks for helping me out back there. You could have left me behind when I was being a dick, but you didn't. Wait, you think I would have left you? Hey, I wouldn't have blamed you. I would have left me behind, too. Second, y'all. Water time. Still, I'm glad you came for me, so, thanks. You shrug, smiling. Well, you tried to save me earlier, when you jumped into the void. I was just returning the favor. Fat lot of good that did. That kind of backfired, didn't it? Luke ruefully rubs the back of his neck. Who doesn't love a reverse knight in distress situation? Luke snorts, rolling his eyes. After you, my lady. He tips an imaginary fedora to you, then holds out his hand to help you through the doorway. Together, the two of you walk through into the other side. Props for the fedora. For a few moments, like a glitch in the system, you're not instantly transported back to your body. Your eyes blink as you struggle to readjust to the fluorescent lighting of the basement. You hear the door slam behind you as Cedric emerges, the crown on his head discarded. The door nearly hits his backside as he leaps through the opening. The four of you stand in the basement of Readout Hall, bloody, battered, and bruised. In the background, you hear the low hum of the eco-friendly air conditioning, and you can smell the mold that must be growing on the ceilings. Behind you, the emergency exit is closed. You try to squint through the small, crisscross pane in the door, but all you see is the pale concrete of a filled-in exit. You feel something hard and rubbery under your foot. It's the dick, utterly harmless, no longer sword-like and decisively wrecked. It made it out after all, which means Peregrine is gone. It's over. There's a moment in which you all share bewildered looks, just grateful to be living, unable to fully comprehend exactly just what you've all been through. It's an impossible reprieve granted by the universe, a single pinpoint in time in which two versions of you exist at once, the world trying to recalibrate to its new circumstances. In this significant sliver of being you occupy, the world does, in fact, revolve around you, the tiniest of miracles for the most significant event in the history of you. And then, like it never happened, the moment vanishes and you're back in your room, your home. So make a left on the highway or a right. Kyrie? And just keep going straight. The road will emerge on its own. Kyrie's voice comes through the car speakers, grainy and distorted. Are you sure? Because it looks like it... Oh, wait, no, you're right. I was looking at the map upside down. Kieran, a straight line is a straight line no matter how you turn it. Hey, you're talking to a college degree holder now, okay? Uh-huh, you could have fooled me. I've got a bona fide bachelor's degree in computer science now. I could apply for an entry-level internship if I wanted. Well, why don't you put that college education to use and pick up some flowers for the wedding? It should be on the way. You rub your chin and pretend to think about it. I'll see if I can fit it into my packed schedule. I was kind of hoping to get in a couple drinks before the rehearsal. Come on, please? Fine, I guess I'll single-handedly save your wedding. You're welcome. Thanks, Kieran. There's a lull in the conversation as you settle into silence. The highway stretches into the horizon, distance marked only by the occasional signpost. You've been driving for almost an hour. There's still another hour left before you get to the ranch that Kyrie picked out for her wedding. You have to get there early to help organize. You're surprised your sister is trusting you with this responsibility, but maybe it has more to do with the fact that there's no one else to help. There's her husband and a few friends, but most of them on the groom's side. You're still not sure if Mom's going to be there before the actual ceremony, but you and Kyrie seem to have a shared understanding that you won't be holding your breaths. So, bringing a +1, Kieran? I'm only asking because I'm trying to get a head count for the seating arrangement. Well, I am bringing someone, but it's no one you know. I'm only asking because we need to make sure all the dinner seats are counted for. You know how particular these things can get. Even just adding one person can throw everything off. Someone hates someone else, and then they get put together in the same table. Someone leaks that someone's been sleeping with someone else's husband, and the whole thing's ruined. Relax, Kyrie. Everything's gonna be fine. Yeah, it's just this is a big deal, you know. Sure, planning a wedding is a lot of. I mean, committing to someone for your whole life. Oh, yeah, the wedding is costing us tens of thousands of dollars, but too, so you know that's also a big deal. Second, y'all. Water time. Your wedding is tens of thousands of dollars. My God. You know how much some of these venues cost? You should think about getting into real estate, Kieran, or wedding planning, or... Outside the window, you watch the asphalt shimmer in the distance, and you feel grateful for the cool air conditioning in your car. Everything okay? You're not getting cold feet, are you? No. Kyrie's voice is sharp. I know what I want. I just... Hey, everything's gonna be okay. You made this decision knowing what you want, so have some faith in yourself. I know I trust any decision you made. The line is silent for a while, and you wonder if you've lost reception out here on the highway. Then you hear her sigh. You sound like Dad. You shudder. Never say that to me again. That makes Kyrie laugh, and the sound of her voice surprisingly clear over the phone static. You can't remember the last time you made her laugh like this. You're right, I'm sorry. Well, hey, if you do get cold feet, let me know. I'll cause a distraction while you get away. It'll be hard to be the center of attention, obviously, but I'll manage somehow. Kyrie snorts fondly. You haven't changed, Kieran. Are you sure? I'm really mature now. I swear, I had back pain the other day. I've changed, I think. You frown, catching your reflection in the rearview mirror. But I guess at the end of the day, I'm still just me. Huh. Are you feeling alright, Kieran? I'm good, really. And for once, you mean it. You spent a lot of days feeling not good, so you're something of an expert on what it would be like if you weren't okay. Whatever you're feeling now isn't that. You know what it's like to be trying to run from something. You think about how Remus spent so many years afraid of the resolution, so much that he had given up anything to avoid it. A chapter of your own life is coming to a close, and rather than feeling afraid or anxious, you're content in this moment, driving somewhere you haven't arrived yet. So, I'll see you at the wedding venue then. Yeah, drive safe, Kieran. I need you alive, in case I need someone to talk me into this wedding. Or, I guess, if I need a getaway driver. You laugh. Sure, I love you too. There's silence on the other end of the line. For a moment, you think that's the end of the call. But then your sister's voice comes through, clipped and short, just before the call actually disconnects. Love you too. And then it's just the car, the road, and you, quietly rumbling along the highway. So! And Luke, who shifts next to you in the passenger seat. It looks like he's resisting the urge to make a comment about how awkward the situation is, or maybe he's waiting for you to say it so he can be the one to admonish you. This is awkward. So, this is awkward. Yeah, I guess so. You sit together in silence, the only sound of the car rumbling along the highway. All things considered, it's nice to be hanging out with Luke again. When you'd emerged from Peregrine, you'd all acted like shell-shocked soldiers back from war. You were trying to acclimate to a normality that seemed foreign to you at this point. Most of the summer felt like you were moving on muscle memory. Waking up, going to class, going through life like a mech piloted by some other Kieran in your brain. Except this time, you were the other Kieran. Sometime along the way, you'd managed to pass your last classes. There was no sex toy store downtown, and you're not sure why you thought there would be. It was hard to say whether or not you'd have preferred there would be one. Still, you managed to order something online and put together a bullshit presentation with your friends, and you'd all made it out of the class unscathed. On your end, you were finally able to graduate. You thought it would be a bigger deal than it was. Instead, you went to the registrar and picked up a piece of cardstock in a manila envelope. People in the office had even clapped for you. Your friends had all moved on, too. If Wes has spoken to his family about anything, he hasn't mentioned it. Apparently, other Wes has made plans with friends to take a trip to the Caribbean. Friends this version of Wes doesn't really know, and he's decided to go along for the ride. Wherever they are, you hope they're having fun. As for Cedric, he took Peregrine's end of the hardest. He spent the rest of the summer moping around the basement door, even though he never tried to open it. Second, y'all. Water time. None of you did, though you're certain it wouldn't have opened anyway. You tried to reach out and keep in touch a few times, but your text threads died and your plans to get lunch never went anywhere. Eventually, Cedric told the group he was moving out. He never needed the extra credits anyway, and he headed back home. When you met up to say goodbye, he sounded open to you visiting. You knew it wouldn't be the same, but most of all, you knew he was going to be okay. After a minute of silence, Luke is, unsurprisingly, the first to crack. So, should we address the elephant in the room, or... What? I'm saying, do you think we should talk about, you know... Before Luke could finish the sentence, the car rocks violently. Behind you, you hear the back tire blow out. Shit! Oh god. You put on your blinkers and pull over to his shoulder, where you and Luke circle the car like vultures. While Luke looks over the scene, he alternates between placing his hands behind his head or shoving them in his pockets. He pauses to appraise your back tire. Yep, looks like a flatter to me. Crap, what do we do? You know. Luke leans back and waggles his fingers at the tire like a bad impression of a wizard. Nothing? Well, that was my best shot. It's probably the closest thing you'll get to a reference to Peregrine at this point. There's supposed to be a spare in the back, right? We can fix this. You put your hands on your hips. Luke looks back at you expectantly. Do you know how to change a tire? Luke barks with laughter. Kieran, do I look like I know how to change a tire? Okay, fair enough. I'm sure we can figure this out. You pull out your phone and squint at the screen in the sunlight. Your connection here is flimsy, but just enough bikes eke through to give you some search results. Hey, look, there's a video on changing tires made specifically for women. Is there a video for gays? Actually, funny you should mention... Nope, never mind, this is just a comedy sketch. I did find a video for guys in their 20s who have never had to change a tire before and are just learning now, through an online video, on the side of the road with no signal, en route to their sister's wedding, though. Wow, these algorithms are getting pretty sophisticated, huh? Rounding the back of the car, you pop the trunk and root around the floorboards. After some fishing around the backseat tire-changing advice from Luke, you're able to locate the spare and the accompanying tools. You and Luke huddle over your phone and it's buffering video. Eventually, after some deliberation, it's agreed that you'll try the jack and Luke will use the wrench, and the other will keep an eye on the video as it loads. Okay, so you want to jack off the car? Dude, this isn't your high school Transformers fan account. There's no cars getting jacked off here. No, the woman in the video is definitely saying jack off. Turn it clockwise. No, wait, counterclockwise. Hang on, am I looking at this right? Luke throws up his hands in exasperation. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, get it together, Kieran. After a series of mishaps and nearly destroying your car, crushing your hands, you're able to get the car correctly elevated as Luke gets to work unscrewing the lug nuts. The weather is sweltering in the summer, the heat unforgiving with no shade visible for miles. You can feel your shirt getting drenched with sweat. The asphalt on the horizon wobbles like gelatin. Luke complains the entire time, and it's almost comforting how he acts so predictably, like clockwork. Alright, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Hopefully there's a decent amount left. I'm kind of curious as to what else is going to happen. Anyway, y'all, thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell. Leave a super thanks. Your tip if you can, it always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.